Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Tony Dudzik, Pick Guardian.
Billy Spitfire Unlimited.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by Billy Spitfire tonight. That's very exciting.
Billy
Spitfire. Hey, everybody, it's me, Todd Novak. Welcome to the Guitar Knobs Podcast. We're thrilled to death that you are listening to our show. Very, very happy. I wish I was in the car listening with you right now to the show. That'd be really fun. I'd be like, hey, listen to this. Watch this part.
Yeah, but
listen to this part.
but then you'd say, hey, there's a McDonald's. Pull over and grab me a burger, man.
I might. But I'd probably get whapped on the back of the head by our guest tonight. Guest, who are you?
Oh, you're talking to me?
Yes, man.
Johnny Vator from Daredevil Pedals.
Yes. Johnny,
Great to be back for my third time.
So Tony's going to look up which were the episodes
Yes, I should do that.
you've been on. And
we've
paced you pretty well. I think it might be 4, actually.
It could be. We had like a weird COVID thing in there, maybe.
Yeah. I think we had 4. I think this is number 4.
It's possible. And usually we end up doing it, like in the evening after a crazy work day or something, and I don't even know where I'm at. So there's probably one I don't remember in there for sure.
Yeah.
Well, let's see here. So I'm looking at our history.
Yes.
And episode number 82.
Wow.
Episode number 337.
That was a lot of time in between those.
That was a
That
gap.
was.
I feel like there was one earlier, another one earlier in there.
Well,
but
let's
anyways.
see. I'll go back. I'll double check
do
the
that.
archives. But no, there had to be, because this one, the number 337 was V3.
Yeah.
So there had to be a V2 in there.
Yeah.
Let me dig it a little bit.
Yeah.
There it is. Number 285.
Okay.
V2.
All right.
There you go. So that's
So you're a four-timer.
If you like this, you'll love the other ones. Yeah. Well, and the good thing is, Johnny, you always have just the coolest stuff, and you're always innovating and coming out with new stuff. And this episode is no exception. So you've got some very exciting things you're going to share with us. And it's breaking news, everybody. Breaking.
It's hot.
It's super
Coming
hot.
hot.
It's hot. Very hot.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, lots happened since we talked last. It's already been an insane year, and it's only May. So
Yes.
but yeah, it's been good. I've been super busy. So let's see, what do we miss? You probably saw the thing that I'm like most excited about so far this year, which was the Mick Ronson wah.
Yes.
Yes.
And I was lucky enough to do that interview, and that is my new number one wah. I mean, I have like 25 wahs. That thing is on top, definitely.
Outstanding.
That was super cool. I got to go out to Dunlop and do that interview. And then also the interview for the pedal that comes out tomorrow.
Wait, not yet, man. Not yet, man. No, we got stuff. And then
We've got
we're
at least
still-
5 minutes.
Yes, at least.
Okay, steer the bus, man.
Yeah. All right. We got actually, I don't think there's any major announcements right now, Tony. No?
I am not aware of any major announcements other than Norm died from
I
Cheers.
just saw that, dude. I just saw that.
Really?
Yeah, that was kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
I love that show.
It's a great show. I think it'd be lost on the generations right now.
It might be, but I mean, if
To a
they
degree.
watched it,
Yes.
they would get. I think they'd find it humorous.
They probably would.
It was timeless humor, as they would say.
Yeah. pretty
Wait,
much.
I have an announcement.
Okay.
Pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa.
Yeah.
Ohio Guitar Show, June 8th.
Oh yeah, coming
that's
up
right.
in a week
Yeah.
or two.
Yeah.
Real fast.
That is fast, isn't
That's
it?
real soon.
Holy mackerel. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Thanks for reminding us. All right, well, let's find out what's going on in our music world this week. Tanya Bolonsky is going to kick us off. Then we're going to check in with Johnny, who may have already, given it up, but
Yeah,
he can tell us
edit
some
it.
more stuff.
You can
Well.
chop it out.
Yeah.
So this week I picked up yet another book. I was at my favorite place is Half Price Books.
Yeah.
I
Great
love
place.
Half Price Books, and I'd seen this.
I get a lot of records there.
They do actually have a fairly good record selection, vinyl selection.
Yes.
as the kids would say. But I go into the usually the music / movie section and take a look and see what's there. And they had a bunch of these. They actually had a couple of the what was the not the iconic guitars.
A collection
No,
of guitars.
Oh my
Anthology
God!
of
Give me
Immortal Axis?
Immortal Axis.
Okay, yeah.
Immortal
Yeah,
Axis
from Lisa S.
Jeez.
Johnson.
From Lisa S. Johnson.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lisa. I
Great
just,
friend of the show.
I just had a brain fart. But anyhow, since I've already have copies of both of those, I think. But they had this other one called Gifted. And this is the instruments of Ed Stilley. And
That is a very specific book.
this is a very specific book. The guitars that Ed made were, at best, primitive folk art. Mm-hmm. But they did such a good job in this because he had no idea what he was doing. He had never played guitar.
Yeah.
And he had a divine inspiration that he was instructed to build guitars and give them to children of friends, family, and neighbors.
Wow, that's cool. And they're probably worth a fortune now.
Well,
Right?
I don't
No?
think so because they're. I mean, now they also interview people that own these and
Yep.
and they love them.
That one looks like it's a lamp, too.
It could be many things. A giant fly swatter. I don't know,
Did they
but
sound like
So
guitars?
he's a weird, wonderful guy.
yeah, he's a bit eccentric.
Yeah. Okay.
But what's kind of cool is he had absolutely no idea what he was doing. He just kind of built these things, gave them away, hundreds of them, and he is he's since stopped making them. I think due to health reasons. But there's all kinds of crazy stuff. Like they did X-rays of these guitars, and he's got like circular saw blades inside, and I mean it's the craziest thing. So if for nothing else, if you like primitive folk art or guitars,
yes.
you should pick one of these up because they're relatively inexpensive. But here, take a look.
The guitars or the book?
Well, I don't know if you can even buy the guitars now because they were gifted.
Yeah.
Instruments. Of
When
Ed
you said
Stilley.
gifted, I thought it was going to be like stars who had been given, guitars by other stars or something. Those stories are always cool.
Oh,
When they go like, oh yeah, so and so, Mick Ronson gave me this guitar.
no, I wish you would give me.
blah blah.
I would like that guitar.
Um,
But it's
That's-
crazy.
that's
It's crazy
cool.
stuff. But yeah, I mean, and it's a beautiful book.
it is.
And so if you happen to see one, if you have a half price books, I mean, usually if one place has them, they have a couple, and it
That's
wasn't
true.
It was like $20 or something like that,
That is
for
weird.
the book.
That is weird. Johnny.
Yes, sir.
Anything specific going on this week? You got evictions action going on?
We just finished some evictions action. We were in Ann Arbor, Michigan this weekend recording an album.
Nice.
That was cool. And the coolest part is that we recorded an album at Ron Ashton's house.
oh wow.
Wow.
The basement of the original Stooges house. His sister still owns it and turned it into a recording studio. And we
Wow.
just tracked in like where it began, literally. And it was every bit as mind blowing as you could expect.
Too cool. Did you
it
shoot any
was-
video there?
We did. Yeah, we shot some videos and we, obviously we tried to get as much work done as we could in 2 days, but it was awesome. And I've known Kathy for years because I did the Ron Ashton fuzzes,
Right.
if you guys remember.
Yeah.
And then she finally started that project in September and it's ready to go. And it was great. And I'm stoked to have a record out, but that was like a whole other part of it that's still we're still kind of wrapping our heads around it,
Yeah.
Icing on the cake, as they say.
Man, too cool.
Yeah.
I've got to go see you guys play live. I see all the vids and everything, and that's so up my alley. And I have several excuses. Actually, oh snap, I'm going out there for Oasis. If man, it'd be cool if you guys were playing around that time.
When is
If you could
when's
sort that out, that'd be great. Okay.
You're coming to Chicago for Oasis?
Yeah.
Oh, because they're only playing a couple dates, right?
Well, I'm actually going to the UK too, but I'm going to Chicago as well, and that's in August.
Okay.
I can't remember when, but yeah, that would be fortuitous, if nothing else.
I'll book a show.
Perfect.
You can see us play if we don't get the opening slot for Oasis.
Well, I'm counting. I'm really counting on that. Yeah. But legitimately, we're talking about the evictions, and I know everybody listening right now is like full on rock and roll, and that is, if you looked up full on rock and roll in the dictionary, you'd probably see a picture of the eviction. So I highly, if you are in Chicago,
look that up right now.
If you are not aware, go see it. Go listen to it. It's good stuff.
It's got fuzz pedals. It's got guitar solos.
Yes.
It's got lead bass.
It's got loud.
It's got really good drumming. Yeah, it kind of checks a lot. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what I think it should
Belt
sound
buckles,
like, at least.
Sleeveless T-shirts, stacks, the whole 9
Yeah.
yards, man. Cool. Well, Billy, how about yourself?
This week, I think I told you in the past about an old Bronco that I had.
Yeah.
And I had a Mustang made in Japan neck on it because for whatever reason. And I finally, at the last guitar show, I got a genuine Bronco neck. I put that on that thing, got it all decked out with all the original stuff. It's black on black. It's got the old knobs that have the Fender F logo embossed on the top in black, and then the stovepipe going down is black, and then the ring around it, the brim is silver.
Yep.
It's so cool. It looks so cool, and it's a very unique tremolo. So anyway, I ended up with this made in Japan Mustang neck left over, along with some other pieces and parts that I had in my boxes of things that I got in trades over the years. And now I'm assembling a 1968 Mustang guitar.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this one's going to be white on white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the body's actually like the perfect cream color too.
Yeah.
From
It's
the
Olympic
age.
white that's
Yeah.
faded. Yeah, it's all.
That looks
Nice.
super cool.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So that's exciting.
Very nice. For me, I actually just put up.
Hey, Todd. How about you?
Well, thanks, Tony. I just put up two things that I've been hanging on to for a while that I need to move because got to make room for other stuff that I need to get. So,
Yeah? What you got?
I put up so I've got a Sound City Concord 2x12, super rare blonde Tolex with the slider controls and the UV meter and the whole. Not the
VU.
yeah, it's cooks, man.
You want to make sure you don't get too much sun.
I know. So I put that up there on Craigslist and just kind of like taking all the pictures and going through all the stuff and figuring out all the details, as well as I have a Epiphone Sheraton 2, the Sunburst with the case. So I put that up there, and so now I cross my fingers and wait for the old cashola to come in, and then I can go blow it as soon as I get it. So it's sad to see gear go, but it's going to be happy to see new stuff come in. So
You just need a bigger basement.
That's not the problem, Tony. Yeah. Anyway, so what we didn't do was talk about pedals at all, really.
Yeah.
On what's going on with our music world this week. So
Yeah.
we lost the segue into Tour Gear Designs patch cables, but I can bridge that gap by saying go to tourgeardesigns.com and get yourself some of these Tour Gear Designs patch cables.
Yes.
Super affordable, super duper strong,
Super flat.
and you could probably squeeze another pedal or two.
Oh, yeah?
Easily.
Easily.
You got all the other Daredevil pedals on your board, but you need to make room for one of the. Maybe there's a new one coming. I'm just saying.
I heard about that.
This will help you do it. Yes. because of the very, very
Low profile.
slim, low profile.
We'll call it low
Yeah,
profile.
Anyways, go over to Tour Gear, load up your cart, hit the buy button. Don't worry, it's not going to charge you yet because that's going to put up your coupon entry area and
Coupon
you put in,
code box.
Yeah. And then you put in the guitar knobs and you save 15%.
15%.
Can life get any better?
No, it cannot. No.
Well, we're going to find out in a couple minutes if it will
really?
or not. Yes. But do that, okay? Thank you to Tour Gear for sponsoring our 4 on the floor.
Let me get a little bit of this.
1, 2, 3. 4 on the floor. All right. Johnny, Daredevil Pedals, give us your 4th 4 on the floor.
16.
4. Okay, this one I've probably had some version of on every single one I've done, but I'm going to go with my very, very necessary script logo Phase 90.
Okay.
The one with the LED. Or no, I have like all of them, but that's the one I've had on there for probably the last 6 months at least.
Do you have you like explored lots of other phasers? Or are you like, I don't need phaser that much, but if I do, it's got to be this one? Or are you like, no, man?
No,
I've
always had I've had a phaser on my board for 20 years, and I've kind of run through all the different types that are in that vein. I've had the Whirlwind one, but I like the OG type. But it's like the block logo is a little bit bitier.
Yeah.
I put it first in my chain, So, but I did find Trips told me that the script logo with the LED is the closest to the original, and it's actual true bypass and not the hardwire sort of bypass thing, which makes my fuzzes happier. So that's been kind of the one.
Cool.
But I also have I've been recording with Phase 45, the original reissue custom shop one. Mm-hmm. And I'm starting to like that a lot. So
had you not tried the 45 before the 90 ever?
I got one maybe towards the tail end of COVID. I bought an original online that I found cheap, like from the 70s. Mm-hmm. And then I got the custom shop reissue, which is pretty much identical. But then I put a DC jack and a LED in it and stuff, and I didn't want to drill out a original one and screw it up,
Yeah.
So, cause that's the Steve Jones thing. That's Bowie. It's a bunch of stuff. It's just not as overwhelming as a regular 90. So
yeah, I prefer the
Jazz.
45 myself over the 90.
you can leave it on without it. Yeah. Being too obvious.
Yeah.
It's almost like a Univibe a little bit or something, it's a little washier.
Yeah.
Which one did the Clash use on Jimmy Jazz?
That's probably a 45.
See, because I think the story I got from Slick, because that was the only thing he used all through Bowie and stuff too, was that like the 45 came out and it was real popular, and it was equally as popular as like a Phase 90 up until a certain point, and then something happened, probably the goddamn Eddie Van Halen, and then all of that just went Phase 90.
Yeah. Because that's what I think of Atomic Punk. It's just like full on phaser.
Right. Once that shift happened to like Shredderville, Eddie Van Halen influenced guitaring in the 80s, that it just took over, and then no one bought the 45s, and that was that. So.
Yep.
Didn't they also have a 180, a Phase 180? It was a big box, if I remember right.
There's a Phase 100 that has the 4 different settings.
Yeah, maybe that's what
the
I'm
one
thinking.
I like.
Okay.
Yeah. And those, I have an original one of those that is great too. But yeah, that's like, the Fu Manchu phaser.
Yep.
Pumpkins used that on the first 2 records.
I had one of those that got stolen. I was so bummed.
But the newer ones sound, quite a bit different than the original. Because you got to match all those. I forget what those things are called in there. But yeah, they have to be like specifically selected and certain tolerances and all that. There's a lot to making a good phaser. So.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was a very long answer to a.
Do you think that's something that would make its way to your repertoire?
It started to about a year ago, and I got to the point where like the thing that I want already exists, and it would be, like, I don't want to put a ton of time and effort into recreating
exactly the same thing.
Yeah, the exact same thing. And I was like, well, what if I want to get a little more creative with what it can do? And then you end up doing like DSP stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And
that's right.
And that's kind of like, there's a ton of that out there too. And some of that, to be honest, like programming digital stuff is just, I don't really care to get into that turf too much. And some of it's a little bit over my head. I could be candid, but there's other people that do that stuff way better than me anyways.
Yeah.
So
that's all good. Okay. How about number 2?
Number 2 is going to be my new favorite, the Mick Ronson wah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when you play it, you're like, that's it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's absolutely what I was hoping it would sound like. And it's like, you can't find a bad spot on the suite. It's just all the good stuff. So that thing rules. I'm recording with that right now too for a few things.
Tony's actually, you're in the process of putting together like a Ronson replica guitar, right, Tony?
I was at one point.
Well, it was like 2 weeks ago.
Well, that was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Time flies. But no, I think we had a thing. What famous guitar would you pick? It was a would you rather, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's always been one of my favorites. Is Ronson's, basically
68 custom.
Yeah, exactly, with the sanded off top.
Yeah.
Totally.
You get pretty lucky with all the things being connected to Chicago, like just even color ways. Like the Ronson pedals is like it's like the Chicago flag, It
is, and at first, I don't know why it took me so long to figure this out, but like after a week, I finally was like, oh, it's the makeup off Aladdin Sane. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I'm like, well, blue sparkly and orange, that looks pretty glam. Not even, it's like, it was so subconscious that I didn't even go, oh, right.
Oh, is it actually orange?
It's like an orangish.
Yeah, it looks like a bright red on the onlines, but that's why I said.
Yeah, I guess it's probably red, but it's the Aladdin Sane.
Yeah,
color.
That makes sense.
So, but yeah, that thing kills. And then I would say next to that, I got to have a boost. And I go back and forth between like a regular boost or a range master style kind of boost.
Yep.
And that's been changing the most because it's like every other show I'm like, I'm going to try this one. Because of course I have like, 15 things that fall into those categories.
Sure.
But lately it's been, I had the Creepy Fingers Sugar Boost on there for a while, which is like a range master, but he's got some weird like Raytheon vintage germanium thing that just sounds extra gritty and dirty in there. So I use that a lot. And then, you said don't mention your own stuff. Sometimes I'll put a silver solo on there, but then I also have been using a micro amp old school,
Yep.
but I modded mine so that it's just a master volume. It's a master volume, and the gain is internally dimed out.
Got it.
Which is the opposite of how they're usually made, where you're just turning up the gain.
Got it.
So I can.
I'm going to ask you a boost question after we're done with this.
Oh yeah.
Not with the show. I mean, after we're done with the 4 on the floor, because it has to do with your pedals. So, all right.
Totally.
Number 4.
Number 4, I use fuzz on 90% of my songs, and that's just my thing, but obviously it's always my stuff. So if I didn't have to choose something I made, I would probably put somebody's MK1 Gary Hurst kind of bender on there. That's probably closest to what I kind of go for.
Mm-hmm.
And then I say maybe a close second would be, the OG Super Fuzz,
Mm-hmm.
But again, I'll say Creepy Fingers because he puts a blend on the tone control instead of a switch, so you can find like a middle between that heavy scooped thing and like a flat EQ with it.
Yeah.
Which is super cool. Yeah, those two probably get closest to what I would use live if I couldn't use my own fuzzes, I guess.
Got it. Well, thanks for sharing another one. We'll give you some time to put together your fifth one in the future.
You know what? I wonder if we went back and listened to these, that they would all be the same 4 pedals that I just have I said different things in the past? Because
Yes,
I
you
always
have.
think I'm going to, and then, I don't stray that far off from what works.
Yeah.
know?
You've given us a good range.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I just, I'm not like a huge pedal board guy,
Yeah.
It's like I need one of these and one of these and one of these, and then I can play. So,
Boom. Yeah.
Right.
Now, something that I often wonder when I'm messing around trying to get new configurations on the board. Right now, I've got the Northern Creeper first in the chain, and we've got a scenario where I'm like, man, I need to get a boost on the back side towards the end for some solo-y bits and stuff, and so I'm going through all my boosts, and they all react differently and everything, and it's hard because anything you put after a fuzz, it just kind of eats away at like the cool thing that the fuzz is doing. So my question is to you: what do you think? What kind of boost should we be looking for if you are running, fuzz or a couple of different fuzzes or something like that?
So I totally know what you're talking about. And this is where I get like my nerdiest with pedal board stuff. Because I'll have, like I said, sometimes I'll have a range master style boost. Sometimes I'll just have a straight up, gain output boost. I trial and error it, before this or after this. So like usually I'm using either a fuzz or I'm using some kind of like really high gain distortion, depending on the song. And it's like, okay, well, let's see how this sounds before the fuzz or after. Okay, it hates it usually on one side a lot more than the other. And then if I get lucky, that will also sound good coupled with, the distortion too. But then I got to figure out what side of it to have that on. So I kind of just work backwards like that, because I'm never going to be using really a fuzz and the distortion at the same time.
Right.
So I just got to kind of find my notch in between pedals where that stuff will go. And, it's trial and error. But yeah, sometimes I'll put something else on and forget to move it around and go through that whole process. And then I just get this awful squealing and be like, all right, I can't use that one with that. It's confusing and stupid, but
what would you put after the Northern Creeper? By the way, everybody, Northern Creeper is one of Johnny's, like, I would say it's one of your flagship pedals. At least to me, it is.
It's probably it might be the oldest fuzz that I have.
It might be the coolest looking one too. Let's be honest.
Oh, thanks.
That thing is. I freaking love looking at because it just feels like, yes, I'm going to make some loud, awesome stuff.
It
just
looks
looking
like
at it,
something electrical from the 1950s.
Yeah, I love that pedal.
That's Mr. Casey Sass from Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, the artist, right?
Shout out, who's done most of my stuff for the last 13 years. So
yeah. You shared that with us. He's a tattoo artist, right?
He's a tattoo artist. He lives in Austin now, but he's from Ann Arbor and Detroit, and he's just been a band dude. That
match made in heaven with you guys, between the two of you.
Yeah. I mean, he gets the rock, man.
Yeah,
and he's a talented designer, so it worked out great. The Creeper, stacking that thing. I'm trying to I'd
put it after because I want to push. I want to
Yeah, I'm envisioning my board right now, and I think that I have my boost in front of it as well.
You have one before and one after?
I think I have right now. I have my micro amp in front of it, and I think that's it. I think the thing that I might do sometimes, though, I don't know, man. You know how it is when you're playing a show and sometimes you just go for stuff and then you don't really plan
It's
it
hard to
out too
tell
much.
in the moment, too.
Yeah, but I think it's in front. But then when I put the range master after it.
Really?
It's one of those things.
Okay.
Like they do the dance in a certain way.
Yeah.
But if it's too harsh,
Yeah.
it's silly how much I really love dudes that have like, well, I have this one pedal and that's all I use.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's great. Mick Ronson just had one fuzz
Yeah.
and a wah. So you're 50% there, regardless of how you set up your rig.
That's pretty fair. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get into. You got a lot of stuff to share with us, and I think we've been really lucky because every single time that we come on, not intentionally, we just seem to time it right. Where you've got some crazy release. You did. We did the your own wah. We when that was just coming out.
The Dunlop Fuzz Wah.
Yeah.
Crybaby.
And then I'm trying to remember what was the one before that. It might have been the
we did an episode when the hype came out, I think.
Yes, the hype.
That was
Yep.
That was the COVID episode.
Oh, and Aces. Aces. Yeah, we did hype, we did Aces, and we did the wah. So now
Aces,
you're coming to us with two things. Why don't we get into that?
So tomorrow is something that I designed for Dunlop like 2.5 years ago. And that, again, we had like kind of a weird gap in there, and there was an artist involved, and everything just kind of got pushed back. I'm not really, I wasn't at the time, I wasn't used to working with such a large company. Mm-hmm. So I just assumed I would do something and then magically 4 months later it would be on the shelves. But no, so tomorrow this is the breaking news, I guess. The first version of a limited edition pedal that I designed for Wayne Kramer before he passed away. So this is getting put out by Dunlop, and it is available only on Reverb for this first version. There's only a set number of them, and it's probably going to go, I would say, probably the first day.
Yeah. Do you know roughly how many we're talking about here?
This first one, there's two different artwork versions. This one is 500.
Okay. This artwork is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
You guys have seen it. Shepard Fairey did the artwork because he was friends with Wayne for a long time.
Uh-huh. Well, that makes sense looking at that now.
Yeah. Yeah. So he did the artwork for the other one as well, which is in the same ballpark, but a little bit, different version of it. So, but yeah, it's a one knobber. You talk about me going OCD on a design just because I knew, I got asked to do this and I'm like, okay, I got to really deliver the goods on this,
Yeah.
And I was given no direction whatsoever. They just said, make something
cool.
Yeah, make something cool for Wayne, which is like the most insane.
P.S. Your reputation's on the line.
Right. Like, oh yeah, I'll just crank out whatever and not pretend like this is really, one of the most massive things I'm going to work on for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm totally into one knob pedals.
Yeah, you got a lot of one knob stuff.
Yeah, guy.
I was thinking like he's not really a pedal guy back then. It was just amp, stack, on 10, guitar, you know. And he didn't really use stuff live when I saw him with the MC50 or other times that I saw him. So I'm like, well, let's just keep it, kind of simple, like stupid proof, right? Mm-hmm. This is your output, and it's going to sound like you're standing in front of a couple full stacks,
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I went for, but I didn't want it to, anybody can just make something big and noisy and loud, right? I really wanted it to be super musical and dynamic and just be kind of a really well tastefully crafted thing that, is still a one knob pedal, but doesn't just sound like compressed garbage.
Yeah.
And it's got a ton of output, and it feeds back good, and it's harmonic, and it just I really went too far making myself insane with it. But then I finally got to a point, I'm like, okay, that's it. Just take this and get it away from me. Otherwise, it's like you're mixing a record, and you could just keep going and going and going. So I sent it off, and he used it on the album that he recorded where we passed,
cool.
and gave us the thumbs up, and everything was good. And then, he just suddenly passed away, and no one knew anything, and he didn't know he was sick. And, it was shocking and terrible. And that kind of pushed everything back for quite a while too. But,
right.
It's here. It's finally here. And I'm just really excited because, I've had the prototype on my board for months, and it's awesome. I use it live. It does everything I was hoping that it would do,
I am wildly intrigued.
And which guitar that he played did you design that based on? I mean, what era was it? Was it the Epiphone when he had the Epiphone Crestwood, or was it the?
So
the
I mean,
Strat,
the whole thing with the with the tone of it too, and this is something that I talked to a couple people about. If you put on all the MC5 records in a row, they all sound vastly different from each other. I mean, you have a live record, and then you have a record that sounds like, clean little combo amps, So I kind of explain this in the video as I wanted to capture just the attitude and raw energy of the band and the playing and kind of what everybody thinks of the MC5, which is, that first album just sounding like it's exploding off of your stereo,
Cool.
And I think that's it. Because if I was really going to try and nitpick something, it's like, well, what era are we talking about? Those guys used all kinds of different guitars. I just thought that it was more of give people the sonic inspiration and kind of bravado of that band.
Yeah.
And make it simple and, give Wayne something he can step on that has one knob and use it for solo boosts or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted him to just have like a really cool practical tool that he could use live, and not get caught up with how just confusing and technical and stuff is. And I know a lot of guys that are older players that are just like, dude, I don't even want to mess with stuff nowadays because it's just too much.
Yeah.
Nice.
We played a simple Fender amp and it was loud, and I just thought, let's keep it easy, man. Hit this, and now you're a couple steps ahead, and it'll sound good for you. You get cool feedback, and solos will cut through really well. So,
well,
I want one of those.
Checking all the boxes.
I want one of those.
I think there's 498 left, everybody.
Yeah. And a lot of people try and sell like, this is the Brown sign in a box or the Marshall stack in a box or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's been beaten into the ground a million times.
Yeah.
But I will say that if you're into that style of gain and pedals like that, and you want something that kind of, I'm not going to like blow smoke or whatever, but like it does that excellently,
Cool.
So that comes out tomorrow. You heard it here first.
There you are. Fantastic.
And then the other version will be roughly a month later for the other.
Now, can you tell us which one you prefer?
I like the one that's coming out tomorrow because it's got, the classic Wayne pose with his guitar on it.
Yeah. It's unmistakable for sure.
Yeah. When you see it, it's just, the artwork is so kick-ass. I need like a giant poster of that or something in my shop,
Yeah. Well, maybe you could talk to the person who collaborated with you on it. maybe you can work that out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. And then, basically it's been a really busy year. And I did a collab that came out 2 weeks ago, I think, with Rob Scallon, who's another Chicago guy, YouTuber, musician. And we put together the Chicago Rat, which has been out, which is kind of like came in and we designed and built and got a concept together for a pedal from scratch, and then made it, come to life. And we released that through his channel and Reverb. So that has been going awesome.
Nice.
And that was a new one for me too, because I'm not super tied in with YouTube, and it was me teaching somebody how to do this stuff and having to use patience and proper terminology and all these things. Yeah. But it was actually a lot of fun, and the video turned out great. So we did like a multi-day shoot that got chopped down in like a 1-hour episode that's up on the YouTube channel. So if you're curious what all goes into designing a pedal and building a pedal and all that good stuff behind the scenes, it's a whole crash course in kind of how I go about doing things. It's filmed at my shop, and we kind of do the whole process. We drill enclosure, we wire it up, build the boards, all that. It was cool. It was kind of a new experience for everybody involved. So
awesome. Now this is it's called the Chicago Rat. It has,
but not a rat.
Super cool art on, and that's what I was going to ask. Like, is it a rat or is it not a rat?
Right, and that was the very first thing I said. It's in the video too. He's like, "We'll call it a Chicago Rat." And I'm like, "Okay, it's not a rat." He's like, "I know, but," and I was like, because Chicago's been the rat capital of the United States for 10 years now.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
As gnarly as that is, yeah. And I'm like, I get it. So the artwork is I don't know if they have these out in Ohio, but the "Do not feed the rats" flyers, they stick all over the alley light poles. So we copped that.
That's
design.
a great album title right there, man.
Do not feed the rats.
Yeah, so we copped that.
That
artwork.
was a laugh of consideration right there, everybody. Just so I can tell that.
Yeah. So we just, once he threw that concept out, I was like, oh, that's great. And then it turned out that we could put the clipping LEDs in the eyes of the rat.
Right.
So they blink when you play, which is a million times awesome. So yeah, that was like a really fun project. And, I don't really collaborate circuit wise with people or creatively too much. Mm-hmm. Usually it's just like an artist that says, make me something like this. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it was cool. And
so tell us what it does exactly if it's not a rat.
He wanted to do like a distortion, or he wanted to do an old school fuzz or something like that. Just to, something kind of straightforward. And he's kind of a high gain, shreddery metal guy. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know what? Let's figure out how to do both of these in one pedal, right? So it's kind of like a 2-setting pedal. One side is a super, it's basically a fuzz with a starve control on it. So you can dump down voltage until you get to like really gated kind of splattery stuff. Mm-hmm. And then the other side is hot rodded distortion, op amp driven. It's cool. It's a cool thing. It's simple, and you can get a million awesome tones out of it. So he did a really good job with the demo video because of all his, his YouTube channel stuff. So he's got all the proper recording equipment and video stuff.
Yeah.
So that turned out really slick. But yeah, it was, for something that we did in like a couple days, it turned out awesome. And they're cool. They're really fun, and they look crazy, and everyone's going to notice it.
Yeah, it is. It's you're not going to miss that on anybody's board. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's a rat with a switchblade and a leather jacket, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And an earring.
And a heart tattoo.
And a heart
He's got a heart tattoo and a chunk of his ear missing.
Yeah. Now, is that what the posters look like? Kind of. I mean, not that they made the rat look like a punker.
Right, not the stylized rat, but that is verbatim what the poster looks like. It's bright yellow with a targeted rat in the middle. And on the bottom, it says pretty much all that stuff, but we just changed it around to be like a play on the copy that's usually on those things. So.
Right.
And he's got a knife.
So would that say like this alley has been surveyed and safely baited?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Man, that's
It's
cool.
like something you see at the Liars Club in Chicago, you know?
Yeah, they had a whole
Crazy.
they had these campaigns to like get people to stop leaving, food and garbage around because the rat problem's so bad.
Wow.
So
Crazy,
yeah.
man.
Wow,
Now,
go.
are both of these new pedals that you're doing? I know that I love that you've been doing that wedge. With you've been reissuing some of the things in the wedge. That's the one that when I got the because I actually had the original Northern Creeper, the red, white, and blue one.
Oh yeah,
And-
the older version. Yeah.
Yeah. But then the silver wedge with the black and red print came out, and I was like, oh my goodness, I think I might have got number one of that. Actually, I think you gave me number one of that.
I did.
I think so.
You lucky dog.
I know. I got it. I was like, what?
Now, how many number ones were there?
Yeah, I mean,
No, hey, if you got number one, it's for two reasons. Either you had really good timing, or I was sold out and I just sent you the one that I kept for myself.
Yeah.
So
or option 3 is like, you know what? I'm gonna give Novak this one just because. No, but that was dead silence from everybody.
yeah.
You don't think
Yeah.
that's possible? No, it's not
It's more
possible.
like he's got like
He doesn't play no favorites.
he's got like 10 of them laying around.
Yeah, no,
and
honestly, I
all
opened it up and
numbered one.
I was shocked because when you announced that, I was like, I want that. I want it. And yeah, that's cool.
no,
And
I saw your name on there. I was like, all right, man, I'm gonna hook up Todd.
that's cool. See, I knew it
Yeah,
was
So
that.
how you
I knew
got-
you'd appreciate it. That's why.
Yeah, man. Heck yeah.
Okay, so on one of your boxes for the jail guitars doors, just write Billy Spitfire on it. You'll get the order. Okay,
Yeah.
See, those don't
They don't go through
me.
him.
they don't go through
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I don't build those.
Oh,
It's just
Yeah.
I designed it. I did the
Okay.
video interview for it and explained everything.
right.
Yeah. So we have to pounce on that, Billy.
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Which,
What's
if you're
it called?
hearing
What's it
this,
actually
So
called?
here's this is where I went to the
Is that what it's
wedges.
called?
Are these look like standard boxes, not wedges, right?
Yeah. So both of those are like the kind of the Phase 100 size box
Right.
that I've used in the past, and same for the Dunlop one.
Right. So like the Cocteau and stuff like that, for those that are familiar.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Cool.
Right.
Wow. Well, when you start getting collaboration stuff, that's usually the mark of you've reached a certain echelon. Do you feel like you're at a certain echelon?
I mean,
You should.
I don't want to jinx anything, but I will tell you that the things that I've been working on in the last year have definitely been the most fun and exciting projects that I've ever worked on.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's things are weird right now, just with music gear industry in general. But I've just been kind of buckling down and like really hustling things to stay busy and just come up with cool ideas. And I very rarely will not do something that comes my way. Like I'm down to do whatever. If something seems cool and somebody has ideas, like great, let's kick it around and see what happens. I have to be constantly busy, and I just want to keep, kicking things around. And then if they come to fruition and they're ready to release, great. Luckily I've been, working with Dunlop on some things, and yeah, I try and keep as many lines in the water as possible, so that's probably just cause I'm like super ADD and, I'm hungry and I love doing this stuff. So,
And you're good at it. That's a bonus.
I try. I think I get lucky a lot, but what I lack in skill, I make up for just being a stubborn bastard.
Indeed.
And there's other things that I can't talk about that hopefully will come out this year. That
I
are
was just going to ask you that.
insanely
So-
exciting too. But those are again not entirely in my control. So,
Okay.
but man, there's some doozies cooking right now, dude. I can't. I really hope that all this stuff pops because it's killer. So,
Okay. Well, make sure you let us know so
yeah.
we can. I'd love to be able to share the news again. Okay.
Oh, definitely. You will be some of the first dudes to find out.
Good.
So,
Well, this is some big stuff. I mean, especially for collectors. Aside from them, we haven't heard them. We're taking your word on Daredevil Foundation that these are going to sound pretty dang awesome. And I know that the Chicago Rat's out there right now. I guess if you're trying to push towards the next thing, is there any ground without giving anything up? Is there any ground that you think that you haven't covered that you're wanting to? Is that too leading?
no, it's all right. Yeah, I mean, I really got to think about that, because, like with these last couple of things, they've just been, they've kind of already had their own direction a little bit. And, yeah, ideally I'd love to have, like I mentioned, a phaser or something. I love using flange, stuff like that, get some more modulation stuff. But when I have things come across my plate that are like, working with artists or other bands, things like that, like I would always go for working with somebody, just because it just, like I said, the more ideas you can kind of throw on the table and you collaborate with people and just, you always kind of end up, the sum of the parts ends up being greater than, just me by myself sitting there trying to think of something cool, That's been a lot of fun lately doing that. I like other people's ideas, and I don't know, creatively, it's just been pretty satisfying lately. So
I can imagine.
And I like doing, like you said, limited edition things are cool. I have a whole other box of these wedges that are yet to be powdered, so I can kind of release, whatever I want coming up with those. So I'll probably get some other, I don't know what design yet, but I do have, like most of those are in stock, usually the wedge stuff, Silver Solos and Northern Creepers. And
yeah, you just did a new batch of the Silver Solos and the wedge, right?
Yeah, and I did a handful of the germanium ones. I had a bunch of old Muller black germanium transistors left.
So for those that aren't as familiar with the Silver Solo, because it's not one of your, famous fuzzes and stuff, what tell us about that?
That was the first Daredevil pedal. So that was, like most guys, it was simple kind of range master circuit. And I just said, all right, how can I expand this and kind of tweak it out and turn it into something that's, more usable for what I would want to do. And a lot of people have, range master type pedals, but this one has just always done well. People love it. There's definitely some secret sauce kind of in there. And then when I got the wedges, I definitely wanted to do some like overbuilt component, old school type germanium ones. So I got the boards made for those, and I dig it because that was like my first love with pedals, was big, oversized 70s kind of fuzzes and things like that. I don't know. I've always felt that was just the coolest era of pedals, just things that are way too big for your board and weigh a lot and, tons of space inside. So once I got those Hammond design wedges in, I was like, great, I can transition a lot of my kind of more old school oriented stuff into these new shells. And I don't know. That's just making
vibe,
myself happy, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
That's just things that I think are cool and other people think they're cool. Unfortunately, those things are kind of expensive to get made, so I just kind of do them in, I'll get a batch of like 50 and just sell those off until they're gone. And then I'll do something else, keep switching it up. So.
Excellent. Well, there's no shortage of good things under the Daredevil roof. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have one on your board, you don't really have a reason not to have one on your board. and that's I have some, so they're flipping fantastic. If nothing else, don't listen to me and just listen to Johnny. Anyways, all right, Johnny, we're gonna round third. Be mindful of your time as an entrepreneur and a guy with things going on in life.
As a dad, and it's almost bath time for somebody.
yeah, we hear you.
You're
We're
right.
rounding third. We're gonna hit something real quick. This is.
Would you rather?
All right.
Wow.
Isn't that beautiful?
It is. I
Wow.
talked with Jared last night.
Has he heard it?
He was excited that we're using it.
Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah,
He's under tornado warning because he did want to join, and he did. I almost
that's
forgot.
right.
He told me to say hello to you, Johnny. So hello from Jared.
Was that olive oil singing to Popeye?
It sounded like it was from Wizard of Oz.
That's
speaking of tornadoes.
Jared
Oh,
just
there you
sped up a
go.
little bit.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Can you imagine Jared as a munchkin? Oh my gosh, that's terrifying. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I just had a picture in my head.
Yeah.
That's scary. Anyhow, that's right, Todd, because this is the segment of the show we call Would You Rather?
Yep.
It's a little game we play. This one is brought to us once again by our good buddy Mike Nazionale.
He's cranking him out.
He's cranking him out. He is the creative force.
He's sitting
if
on
you
the
will.
front porch watching that big giant fountain in the front yard. Okay, go ahead.
He has a big giant fountain.
Well, it's Italian. He's got the upstate.
Oh, yes.
Anyways.
Lots of statuary.
Statuary. Anyways, go ahead.
So, you were just handed the revolutionary Novak guitar, and that's
With a K.
Knovac.
Yeah. Okay.
As knob.
Right.
Novak.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
Not Todd,
Yeah.
but
Oh, Novak.
this is a
Yes.
Novak.
Ah, I get it.
One of the revolutionary features is you have 3 emulated pedals on board the guitar that are available with the flip of a switch. It's located down by the tone and volume knobs down there. Very
Yeah.
easy access. And these, of course, are they're the pedal knobs are set by an app that's on your phone. Mm-hmm. So you download them, you don't touch any, you can't really mess with things. That's what makes them so revolutionary,
Yes.
you see. So,
It's kind of giving me the court effector vibe here.
and then
Yeah, I don't know if you
was-
guys were familiar with that. It's like an Explorer, but it's got buttons on it.
Yeah, I was thinking
What was
MPC. Outlaw.
Yes, yes. Yeah, those they had the big cartridges that you put in the back.
Dan
right?
Electro had that one goofy one too.
Oh, that's right. The
Yeah.
Dano
Three of those
Blaster or
was-
something.
yeah,
or-
something like that.
okay. Anyhow, not nearly as revolutionary as the Novak guitar, you see. So the big question is, would you rather have, now you have to put these in your guitar and they're there forever.
Okay.
So would you rather have fuzz, delay, and chorus, or
Okay, hang on. Writing
fuzz,
it down.
delay, chorus,
Fuzz delay chorus,
or overdrive, reverb, and phaser?
ooh, golly.
Those are
That's
the only
really
combinations
hard.
that you can have. That's what makes this
Okay,
the
and,
tricky part
and
of the
what
show.
did he say what body style this is?
It's revolutionary.
It's revolutionary.
Yes.
Let's make it an Explorer.
Let's
It's a
ma-
revolutionary Explorer style.
Let's make it a Strat.
No, it's got my name on it. It's an Explorer.
It does not have your name on. Do you have a K in your name?
Well, the rest of the letters are there. Wait, yes, I do. It's the last letter of my
no,
name. you goofball.
at the beginning.
No, that's not the point. It's a picture.
Picture your favorite body guitar.
Yes,
Only more
that's shaped like an
revolutionary.
Explorer. Okay, go ahead, Tony.
So, between those two choices, I think I'm going to lean towards the overdrive, reverb, and phaser. Because sorry, Johnny, but fuzz isn't my favorite thing. Oh, I think we lost him. Hello?
I'm here.
I can feel
I was letting you explain. That's fine.
Yeah,
So I've always been more overdrive boost as opposed to fuzz.
Yeah.
And granted, there is some crossover there. And if you set your fuzz right, you end up in the same ballpark anyhow. But I think between those two choices, I've never been a huge chorus fan. I do prefer phaser over chorus. And then I like reverb over delay.
Okay.
So that's the one. Those are my 3 settings.
All right.
Or 3
that sounds
pedals
good. That sounds
on
good.
board.
All right. Billy.
Ooh, well, I do love a rolling chorus. Can't beat that.
No, you can.
But that's the
You can
only.
beat it with a baseball bat.
But that's the only chorus I've ever loved.
Really?
Besides, oh, we're the boys of the chorus.
Okay.
Hope you like our
You
show.
Goofballs.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go with overdrive, reverb, and phaser.
Man of decision right there. Okay. Johnny.
Well, I gotta have fuzz, and also if you can't have reverb with fuzz, then reverb's kind of pointless. You know, it's like unusable to me. Fuzz all the way. I'm not a big chorus guy, but fuzz and delay is pretty much, I would say 90% of the bands I listened to when I was in my 20s. So, kind of a no-brainer, I guess.
Gotcha. Well, I'm definitely
Lee?
going the FDC myself. Yes. Fuzz delay and chorus. And I mean, I wouldn't use massively heavy chorus. I do like a kiss of it, because it's almost like acting like a doubler, like in Doubly.
Doubly, yeah.
But yeah, I love that idea. Being able to just bang those on there, that'd be cool.
Well, that's nice.
Yes.
So we're going to need a tiebreaker.
No,
No?
it's just
It's
a tie.
2 and 2.
Yeah.
It's just a tie.
All right, thanks, Mike Nazionale, for giving that one. That was a good time had by all. We need to thank a few people, Tony, and we're going to say adios to our friend Johnny.
Yes, Todd, because at this point of the show, there's a special group of people we love to thank. These are our executive producers. Now, an executive producer helps make this show possible. How do you become one? Easy as pie. Head over to patreon.com/the Guitar Knobs. Check out a couple different levels in which you can participate, become a sponsor, a friend, a hero,
Yes.
if you will, of the podcast. Each level comes with some very nice thank you gifts and opportunities to win great stuff. Oh, yes, there's great stuff.
We got some things we're going to be giving away soon.
Yes, thank you. But on top of all that, there's one thing more. What would that be?
You get to have your name right on the thing.
Your name right on the thing. That's what I'm going to do right now. So special thanks to these executive producers: Anthony Lathrop, Brett Hogarth, Cameron Pampas, Darren Gregory, Don Kloss, Elad Mizrahi, James Bell, James White, John Esterly from Rare Buzzer Effects, John Sebastian, John Halverson, Justin Jones, Ken Sayers, Michael Senchuk, Mike Davenport, Owen Eads, Plutone, Ralph Gottschalk from Wonderful Audio Technology, what? Richard Kendall, Rick Calhoun, Rusty Sneeden, Stefan Lamb, Tom Brazen, Trevor Ellenberg, Trevor Gunberg, and Veteran Pedals.
Indeed.
But
Thank you.
Todd, there's more. There's another. There's an even more special group of executive producers. We call them our Grand Poobahs. These are the creme de la creme, the top of the heap, the A number ones, and they wear a fez upon their head whilst listening to the podcast. So special thanks to these Grand Poobahs. Anthony Jamalero, Billy Spitfire Unlimited,
Thank you,
seated
Billy.
next to me. Bob Crouch, Brian Robinson, Cody Foster, David Kaminga, David Tyndall, Enrico Fernando, Fox Hill Studio, Gregory Randall, Hex Matos, John Williams, Martin Cliff, Matt Hart, Michael Van Zandt, Michio Murakishi,
Indeed.
Mike Nazionale, Moon Guitars, Pedro Vasquez, Sam Jett, Steve Keys, James Pennington, Zach Oswald from Brandon Wow Pickups, Jonathan Labate from M2 Labs, and Ty Barnes.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you
guys
thank you.
so very much.
Ty
I just got some. I also just got some great news, you guys.
What's that?
Johnny? You may dig this.
Cool.
It's from. Let's see, Black Cat Guitars.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Sounds fun. Let me know what you're thinking. What I need to do. So
Chris.
he'll be joining us on the show.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
sir.
very cool.
Yeah.
Chris rules, man.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to him. So that's cool. I love getting little pop-ups like that. That's nice.
Yeah.
Everybody, thank you so much. We need to say a good, ginormous thank you to Johnny from Daredevil. And
Thank you for having me, guys.
You bet,
It's
man.
fun as always.
Where can people find your stuff?
www.daredevilpedals.com, and the listing for the Chicago Rad is on the Reverb page. All the links are available on our Instagram page and website. And the MC5 pedal will be available only on Reverb through
Starting kind of now-ish.
Yeah, it's there now.
Yeah,
if you're
I will,
hearing
yeah.
this, it's there now. Unless
I
it's
would-
Pretty
sold
much
out.
now.
I would jump on that as soon as possible
Yeah.
tomorrow, because that's going to go quick.
For sure. Tony.
Yes?
Where can people find the things that you do?
Head over to pickguardian.com. Check out the stuff I do. What do? I make custom pickguards for guitars. How do you get one? Shoot me an email. Let me know what you're trying to do, what you need, material, all the stuff, pickups. I probably have some advice for you. You know, Todd, it's your opportunity to make your guitar even more yours.
Yes, that's right. Copyright. I own that. Billy, how about yourself?
since I recently got
Fat. What?
since I recently got hacked on Facebook and
Oh,
Instagram.
jeez. Yeah, what a mess.
Nobody can find me anywhere. So go to my band websites,
Yeah.
which are not under my name, which would be Mathematics from Columbus, Ohio. Watch out. Don't send me anything. Don't send any money. If anybody is claiming that they are Billy Spitfire, ask you for money because I have a dying relative or blah, blah, blah. I'm not selling anything. I'm not doing anything. Don't send money. Okay, please? Thank you.
Okay. That's interesting, Billy.
Yeah. But anyway, bands that I participate in are Mathematics from Columbus, Ohio, Bastard Sons of Neptune from Columbus, Ohio, and the Flynns, which is a Rolling Stones cover band from Ohio. Thank you.
Excellent. Me, yes. You can shoot me in DM on Instagram at Guitar Knobs. We'd love to hear what you're thinking, what's going on, what you got cooking. Share your thoughts, your hopes, your dreams. Throw rocks at Tony. Don't throw them at me. And, yeah, it's been fun hanging out with Billy Boy. And we'll hopefully hear from him soon. And
his friends.
I'll be back.
And his friends. Yeah, and thanks so much, Johnny, for hanging out with us. We really love the stuff that you're doing. You're a credit to rock and roll, my friend. Have a fantastic Guitar Weekend. Subscribe!
I'm
Tony, are you okay? You got your
just reworking this thing.
glycerin pills and everything?
Yeah, I need it under. Could you put it under my tongue for me? Todd, put that pill under
Yeah.
my tongue,
My
please.
after dinner mints, please.
Yes. Ooh, that was a good one, huh?
Yes.
And away we go.
Well, that's it for these knobs. Please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theguitarknobs. Visit our website at theguitarknobs.com for all of our past episodes, 4 on the Floor blog, and other good stuff. You can connect with us on social too at our Facebook page and share your gear and stories on our Facebook group. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram at Guitar Knobs. Catch you next time.